Hello and welcome to Hope Radio. I'm Jill Evans, your host. I am so excited to be adding new content to Hope Radio in the form of a video. These series, when I add a video, is going to be called Heavenly Moments. The same mission with Hope Journey is to remind people that God is the greatest source of hope. But in these video series, I'm going to be sharing true testimonies where God has impacted our lives, whether it's my story that I'm going to share with you or your story that you've asked me to share on your behalf. So send those my way at hopejourneywalksevents@gmail.com. So for this episode 1, I'm excited to share what I'll call the topic is Angels Among Us. Way back in the day, I guess it's not been too long ago, I had the wonderful opportunity to have a music ministry, and I would sing at big events and small events and festivals, but I spent a lot of time singing and providing whatever was needed in small churches. I would maybe sing, I would maybe help provide the message. Sometimes I'd play the organ or the piano, and sometimes if there was nobody there, I'd help collect the offering. Whatever was needed, I was really ready to serve. I had this one church that I would go to a couple times of the year. Now, this church typically on a Sunday would have somewhere between 8 and 12 in attendance. This specific Sunday, I was going to be doing a lot with a message and song. My theme was called Angels Among Us. Now, my goal was to share true testimony, but then also remind us that we don't have to be a congregation of 10,000 to do great things for our Heavenly Father. We can be small and mighty, and God can equip us. That's kind of the topic that I was going for. Now, a couple weeks had passed, and the organist called me, and she said, "Is there any way you can attend church this Sunday?" And I immediately went into, "Sure, what do you need? Piano, music, what do you need?" She says, "No, we just want you to come." Well, I have to say, that is a rarity for somebody just to say, "No, come and worship with us," because usually I'm trying to fill in the gap where needed. As I walked into this one room church building, there was a crowd, probably around 20 people there, and they're all looking at me. And I thought, oh, am I late? But I was not. As I walked in the door, the organist came down the center aisle with a big old smile on her face. She said, "We are so glad you're here. We wanted to share something with you." She said, "Do you remember what your topic was a few weeks ago?" And before I could even answer, she said, "Let me tell you. It was called Angels Among Us. And you were talking about we don't have to be a big congregation in order to do great things for our Heavenly Father." Well, do you remember when you were here a couple weeks ago? We were having a meeting after our church service, and we're going to be talking about painting the sanctuary. And I said, "Oh, yeah, I do remember that." And I started to look around, and it was obvious I had a new paint job. She said, "Now, wait a minute. Let me fill you in. What has happened since you've been here?" She said, "We had finished the painting. The painters were done. On Sunday morning, she pointed to the gentleman that always comes in early to turn the lights on, get that heat on or cooling system on. As he turned on the lights, he stood back to admire the new paint job. And then he saw something out of the ordinary. She then points up to the front of the sanctuary and says, 'Do you see it?' Well, first I looked up and I could see the fresh coat of paint, and then my eyes focused. And there, in that brand new paint job, the paint faded into the shape of an angel. That's right. It faded into the shape of an angel. You could see the wings, you could see the halo and kind of the gown. I was speechless. She said, "Oh, wait a minute. I need to tell you more. You knew that we were meeting about talking about painting the sanctuary. But what you don't know is that Sunday, we voted to close the church." I had no idea. I knew it was a small congregation, but I knew they loved the Lord and I knew they had done some great things for, I don't know, 100 years. She said, "But when we came in that Sunday and we saw the shape of the angel, we thought about your message and realized that God has plans for us." You know what happened? They ended up partnering with a community outreach, bringing folks to their service on Sundays. They partnered and the church continued for quite some time. Well, the rest of the story is that church is now long gone. The building is gone as well. But that's not what we focus on. What we focus on is that God was not finished with them yet. And he just used me to kind of send the message that somebody picked up on to realize that God was saying, I still need you. I still need this church to do great things. So, what do you get from this? Well, hopefully, you're being blessed by knowing that God is active and He will even fade paint to get our attention. Well, if you have a story to share, please send it my way if you would like. Thank you so much for listening to Hope Radio, and I look forward to sharing my next story on episode 2. Bye for now.